You know that feeling, don't you? You finally fall asleep after a long, exhausting day. Your body relaxes, your mind begins to drift. Then suddenly, around 2 or 3 a.m., your eyes snap open. Your bladder whispers, then insists. And before you know it, you're shuffling through the dark toward the bathroom. It seems harmless, just something that happens with age, right? But here's the truth. No one tells you when this happens night after night. It's not just your sleep that's being broken, it's your body's ability to repair itself. What if I told you that waking up to pee isn't always about weak kidneys, too much water, or aging? What if the real issue lies in a tiny miscommunication between your brain and your bladder? One that can be silenced naturally without drugs in just days. Because tonight I'm going to show you exactly how a simple natural compound your body already makes can retrain that connection, calm those false alarms, and help you sleep straight through the night. 6 to 8 hours of deep restorative rest, no interruptions, no groggy mornings, just you and the sleep your body has been craving. So stay with me, because what's happening inside your body is far more fascinating and far more fixable than you've ever been told. You might think waking up once or twice at night to use the bathroom is no big deal, just part of getting older. But here's the truth. Few people realize those small interruptions are quietly destroying one of the most powerful healing systems your body has: deep sleep. When you wake up even for just a minute, your body snaps out of its restorative cycle. The hormones that repair your tissues, balance your blood sugar, and protect your heart all drop sharply. In fact, studies from the University of Pittsburgh found that people who wake more than twice a night have up to 35% lower growth hormone and melatonin levels, both essential for cellular repair and kidney regeneration. It's not just about feeling tired the next morning, it's about your body slowly losing its ability to restore itself. I once spoke with a retired teacher named Robert. He told me I used to think I slept fine. I just got up 3 or 4 times to pee. But after a few years, I realized I couldn't focus. During the day, my blood pressure was up, and my doctor said my kidney numbers were slipping. That's when it clicked. It wasn't the hours he spent in bed, it was the constant breaks in his sleep that were silently wearing him down. And that's what makes nocturia, the fancy word for frequent nighttime urination, so deceptive. It doesn't seem dangerous, but it's a silent disruptor that steals your body's repair time, wrecks your mood, and makes you feel older than you are. If you've been waking up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you can't just sleep through like you used to, it's not your imagination and it's not weakness. It's your body's alarm system gone haywire, reacting to signals that shouldn't be waking you at all. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another factor hidden even deeper inside your nervous system that's quietly turning those small bladder urges into full-blown wake-up calls. And once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. What's really happening when you wake up to pee at night isn't just about how much liquid you drank, it's about a miscommunication between your brain and your bladder. Your bladder isn't the villain here. It's more like an overprotective friend who keeps calling you at 3 a.m. to check if you're okay, even when everything's fine. Here's how it works. Inside your bladder are thousands of microscopic sensors. Their job is to detect how full it is and send messages up your spinal cord to your brain. During the day, your brain is great at filtering those signals. It knows what's urgent and what can wait. But at night, when everything quiets down and your nervous system becomes more sensitive, even a small signal can trigger a full-blown wake-up call. Think of it like a smoke alarm that's become too sensitive. During the day, a little steam from cooking doesn't bother it. But at night, when the house is still the faintest wisp of heat sets it screaming. That's what happens inside your body. Your bladder's smoke alarm is on overdrive. Scientists call this neurological hypersensitivity, and it's more common than most doctors realize. When your nervous system becomes overstimulated, it amplifies every signal, even harmless ones. A study published in Neurourology and Urodynamics found that people who frequently wake to urinate at night show heightened nerve activity in the sacral region, the exact area that controls bladder contraction. In simple terms, your nerves are shouting emergency when your bladder is only half full. And every time that happens, you jolt out of deep sleep, your heart rate rises, and your body floods with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. It's not just bad for your rest, it's a biological chain reaction that affects your blood pressure, immune function, and kidney filtration efficiency. So if you've ever thought, maybe I just have a small bladder, you might be missing the real issue. The truth is your brain and bladder have lost their rhythm and they're no longer speaking the same language during the night. But the good news is there's a way to recalibrate that connection to teach your nervous system to quiet down so your body can finally rest the way it was designed to. But only knowing this isn't enough because the secret to restoring that balance lies in something far simpler, something your body already produces naturally. And once you learn what it is, everything changes. That's where something fascinating comes into play, a tiny molecule that's been quietly working inside your body all along, yet almost no one talks about it. It's called glycine, one of the simplest amino acids, but its effect on your sleep and bladder control is surprisingly powerful. See, most people think amino acids are just the building blocks of protein, but glycine is different. It's also a neurotransmitter, a messenger that travels through your nervous system, helping your brain decide which signals are worth paying attention to and which ones can wait. In other words, it's like the traffic cop between your brain and bladder, directing messages and deciding when to stop or go. Japanese researchers accidentally discovered this link while studying sleep quality in adults. They gave one group of participants 3 grams of glycine before bed and a second group a placebo that looked identical. Within just a few nights, those taking glycine didn't just sleep better, they woke up less often to urinate. In fact, they reported feeling calmer, more rested, and even more alert the next day. One participant said, "It felt like someone turned down the noise in my body. I still had the urge, but it wasn't urgent." So what's really happening? When glycine binds to a receptor in your spinal cord called the NMDA receptor, it helps turn down nerve signals almost like lowering the volume on an overexcited radio. This calms your bladder reflex and prevents those false alarms that jolt you awake at 2 a.m. At the same time, glycine influences the suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock that controls your sleep-wake rhythm. That means your body not only stays asleep longer, but cycles more efficiently through deep and REM, stages the exact phases responsible for physical recovery and emotional balance. Imagine it this way. If your bladder is the smoke detector that's been too sensitive, glycine is the gentle hand that resets it, still alert for real danger, but no longer reacting to every bit of steam from your evening tea. And the best part, it's safe, natural, and already part of you. All you need is to restore it to the right level. But don't rush to the store just yet, because taking glycine the wrong way, at the wrong time or in the wrong form, can actually reduce its effectiveness and even make you wake up more at night. And that's exactly what we need to fix next. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the way you combine glycine with your nightly routine can make or break your results. And that's where most people unknowingly go wrong. So how do you actually use glycine to calm that overactive bladder-brain signal and finally sleep through the night? The answer lies not only in the dose, but in the timing, the form, and what you pair it with. Most of the research points to 2 to 4 grams of glycine taken about 1 hour before bed, with 3 grams being the sweet spot for most people. You don't need anything fancy, just a simple capsule form. And here's why that matters. Drinking it in a big glass of water right before bed might sound harmless, but you'd be surprised how many people sabotage their own progress this way. If your goal is to stop waking up to pee, why flood your system with more fluid at the very moment you're trying to rest? Capsules let you take it with only a small sip, enough to swallow, not enough to trigger your bladder later. Another overlooked trick is pairing glycine with magnesium. Magnesium relaxes your muscles and calms your nervous system, perfect partners for deeper sleep. But here's the catch. Many people take their full magnesium dose right before bed and end up urinating more during the night. That's because magnesium affects how your kidneys manage fluid. The fix is simple: split the dose. Take half with dinner, then the other half an hour before bed alongside glycine. This gives you a steady flow of relaxation throughout the evening without overwhelming your kidneys at once. And don't underestimate your hydration rhythm. Front-load your fluids earlier in the day, water, tea, even coffee if you enjoy it, but start tapering off around 6 p.m. That one change alone can dramatically reduce nighttime trips. You don't have to go to bed thirsty, just strategic. A few sips with dinner, a small glass if your throat's dry, your body can handle that easily. If you follow this pattern for just a few nights, you'll start noticing the difference: falling asleep faster, waking up less, and feeling genuinely restored in the morning. It's not magic, it's biology finally working in your favor. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another layer of control that happens during the day that most people never think about, and it can quietly undo all your nighttime progress if you ignore it. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. What you do during the day directly shapes how your bladder and brain behave at night. Because your kidneys, nervous system, and hormones follow a rhythm, and when that rhythm gets out of sync, your nights start to fall apart. Let's start with hydration timing. Most people make a big mistake without realizing it. They drink very little water during the first half of the day, then try to catch up in the evening. That habit forces your kidneys to process a flood of fluid right before bed. Instead, think of your hydration like sunlight. It should happen early, not late. Drink most of your water between morning and early afternoon, then taper off after 5 or 6 p.m. This single shift can cut nighttime urination by up to 40% according to a Japanese sleep study in BMC nephrology. Then there's creatine, something most people associate with gym enthusiasts. But here's what few know: creatine helps your cells hold on to water inside the muscle tissue. That means more hydration where your body actually needs it, and less water floating around waiting to be excreted at night. A small dose, around 3 to 5 grams in the morning, trains your cells to retain water during the day, keeping your kidneys calmer while you sleep. Next, let's talk about carbohydrates. Eating a modest portion of healthy carbs, rice, oats, or potatoes, with dinner raises insulin slightly, which helps your body retain just enough sodium and fluid to keep your bladder quiet overnight. It's a natural balancing act. When people go ultra-low carb all day, they often notice more nighttime urination simply because their body can't hold water properly. This doesn't mean overeating, it means being strategic about when you include those nutrients. And remember, stress plays a sneaky role here too. When your body is tense, your adrenal system fires up, releasing cortisol and adrenaline that literally make your bladder more reactive. So if your evenings are full of screens, heavy news, or caffeine after 3 p.m., you're priming your body for a restless night. A 5-minute walk after dinner or a few deep breaths before bed might seem trivial, but physiologically, they help your nervous system unwind, lowering the volume of those bladder signals. You see, sleeping through the night isn't just about what happens when your head hits the pillow. It's a 24-hour system your body learns from your habits. And when you align those habits, hydration earlier, glycine, before bed magnesium, balanced gentle carbs at dinner, the body remembers how to rest again. But only knowing this isn't enough, because even with the perfect daytime routine, there's one final adjustment inside your evening rhythm that can make or break your results. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. Even the most powerful nutrients won't work if your evening environment sends the wrong signal to your brain. Because here's the truth. Your body doesn't fall asleep just because it's tired. It falls asleep when it feels safe. And when your environment screams stimulation, blue light, late scrolling, caffeine, or heavy meals, your brain stays on guard, flooding your body with the same alert signals that trigger your bladder reflex. So the goal of your evening routine isn't just to wind down, it's to retrain your brain to recognize that night equals calm, not chaos. Start by dimming your lights an hour before bed. Light exposure tells your suprachiasmatic nucleus, your body's master clock, whether it's day or night. By reducing brightness gradually, you nudge your brain to start producing melatonin naturally, which pairs beautifully with glycine to deepen your sleep. Avoid bright screens or harsh white light. Even a few minutes of exposure can reset your circadian rhythm backward by an hour. Then time your last meal wisely. Eating a large salty or high-protein dinner close to bedtime pushes your kidneys into overdrive. They have to filter nitrogen and excess sodium just when your body should be resting. Instead, eat dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed, include a small portion of healthy carbs like quinoa or sweet potato, and let digestion settle. That simple timing shift can lighten your kidneys' workload overnight. You can also try a relaxation ritual, something gentle, predictable, and repeatable. Some people stretch, others listen to ambient music or journal briefly about gratitude. These actions aren't nice extras. They lower your nervous system activity and reduce the chance of those sudden bladder messages jolting you awake. Even breathing deeply for 60 seconds before bed can drop your heart rate and help your kidneys switch from filtration mode to recovery mode. And here's the small but vital detail. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. A temperature around 65, 6 is CD8 degree 18-20 encourages deeper sleep stages. Too warm and your body releases stress hormones again. Too cold and your bladder becomes hyperactive. You'd be amazed how a 2-degree adjustment can change your night. When you combine this environment with your glycine protocol, magnesium balance, and early hydration, something incredible happens. Your nervous system, your kidneys, and your bladder finally start working together again. The night stops being a battleground and becomes a place where your body rebuilds itself. Because in the end, the secret isn't just a supplement or a hack, it's rhythm. Once you reclaim that rhythm, your body remembers what restful nights truly feel like. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's one final insight, the piece that ties everything together. The reason this approach doesn't just stop nocturia, but transforms your overall vitality. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. When you finally sleep through the night, no interruptions, no jolts of urgency, something extraordinary begins to happen inside you. Your body re-enters the rhythm it was designed for, a nightly reset that restores every system from your kidneys to your heart, your brain, and even your metabolism. During deep sleep, your growth hormone spikes, repairing tissues and filtering toxins. Your melatonin levels rise, lowering oxidative stress and calming inflammation throughout your body. Your kidneys use this window to balance electrolytes, flush out waste, and protect the glomeruli, those delicate filters that decide what stays and what goes. Without this cycle, your cells never fully recover. That's why people who wake up multiple times a night often notice not just fatigue, but brain fog, high blood pressure, water retention, and slower metabolism. A 2022 study from the Journal of Sleep Research found that even mild sleep fragmentation, just waking up 2 or 3 times, reduces kidney filtration efficiency by over 20% the next day. Another paper from Harvard Medical School linked poor sleep quality to accelerated renal aging, essentially making the kidneys act 10 years older than their biological age. So when you fix your sleep, you're not just resting, you're reversing time at the cellular level. I've seen it happen again and again. One patient told me, "I didn't realize how much my body was struggling until I slept through the night for the first time in years. I woke up and it felt like someone turned the lights back on inside me." That's the power of restoring your body's natural rhythm. It doesn't just stop nocturia, it jumpstarts repair everywhere. And the beauty is, it doesn't require expensive drugs or invasive treatments. Just simple science-backed steps. Balance your hydration earlier in the day. Take 3 g of glycine an hour before bed. Pair it with a split magnesium dose. Eat a carb-inclusive dinner to stabilize insulin and fluid balance. Build an evening routine that signals peace instead of stress. In time, these small, deliberate actions teach your nervous system that night equals safety, not alertness. Your bladder stops shouting, your kidneys rest, and your body gets to do what it's been wanting to do all along: heal. But only knowing this isn't enough, because now you need to understand what happens next. The emotional transformation that comes when your body finally starts to feel young again. And that's exactly what we'll dive into in the conclusion: how to sustain this rhythm, protect it for life, and wake up every day feeling like yourself again. So here's the truth in the simplest words possible. When you restore your sleep, you restore your body. A calm brain means a calm bladder. And with just a few simple, science-backed changes, glycine, magnesium balance, earlier hydration, and a peaceful nighttime rhythm, you can finally sleep through the night and wake up feeling like yourself again. Your kidneys don't just need medication. They need rest, rhythm, and recovery. And the beautiful part is, it's never too late to give them that. Even if you spent years waking up in the dark, even if you thought this was just part of aging, your body is waiting for the chance to prove you wrong. Because every night of deep, uninterrupted sleep is another night of healing for your mind, your kidneys, and your future. If this message resonated with you, save this video so you can revisit the steps tonight. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss new science-based tips that help protect your kidneys and overall health. And tell me in the comments, have you tried glycine or noticed changes in your sleep? I read every single one, because your story might inspire someone else to finally take their first step toward healing. Thank you for spending this time with me today. May your nights be peaceful, your mornings bright, and your kidneys strong and calm for many years to come.